Alright, man, welcome back to another true crime reaction. Today we got When the Killer Calls the Police. Yeah, like always with these type of videos, before we get into it, viewer discretion is advised. The following video is more than likely going to be very disturbing for certain people, and continue watching at your own risk. Alright, yeah, it's not wasting any more time though, and just get right into this one, man.
And now, all of a sudden, this is all happening.
What's his name?
Christian Tobecha Obum Sully.
Christian?
Please, I'm scared of him.
On the 3rd of April, 2022, Miami police.
Christian?
Please, I'm scared of him.
On the 3rd of April, 2022, Miami police received a terrifying phone call.
I can't feel my arm. I can't feel my arm. Oh, my boyfriend is dying of a stab. Ma'am, what is the address? 134 Northeast 7 times. Baby, I'm so sorry.
27-year-old Christian Toby Obumseli was bleeding out in his girlfriend's lap with a brutal stab wound to the chest. When police arrived, pools of blood were found all over the apartment, and Toby was barely clinging to life. OnlyFans model Courtney Clenney had met Toby back in 2020. The two seemed to be deeply in love, but behind closed doors, things were completely different. The couple were known to have violent fights, and the police were even called multiple times to their apartment. But their biggest argument would take place in April of 2022 and result in Toby bleeding out and begging for his life. Courtney told police she had nothing to do with it, but police thought differently. So she was brought in for questioning, and a 5-hour-long interrogation began.
My apologies for being absent.
Holy fucking shit.
Covered in blood.
Listen, you don't have to apologize, okay? I completely understand. Alright? Things happen, and you can't control it. Okay? How long have you guys been together?
About 2 years.
About 2
A
years?
year and a half to 2 years, yeah.
Okay.
Is he okay?
He's still at the hospital. They're still,
I know.
monitoring him and talking to him. So we're waiting.
Oh my God, so he didn't even have to have surgery?
Well, I don't know. They're still doing X-rays and stuff like that. So
Why did she just get so antsy like that? It kind of fucking sketched me out. She's like, ah! I don't like how quick she moved, dude.
I don't know yet. I'm waiting to hear a response.
That's all I have to know. Thank
Okay.
God.
The detectives tell Courtney that Toby is in the hospital, but alive. Detectives are usually unaware of how a suspect will react to certain information, so it's often safest to open by easing any worries they may have and talking in a non-accusatory manner. This makes the suspect feel more relaxed and more likely to open up.
Had just gotten back together.
Makes sense.
I had broken up with him, and then he came back the last 2 nights, and then started into an argument, and I ended up getting scared, and I think that I overreacted, or not overreacted necessarily, but reacted, and I just didn't know exactly what might happen.
Do you guys work here in Miami, or do you guys have your own business?
I do social media, so I'm an influencer, I guess is what
Oh yeah.
call it, yes, I'm an influencer.
What do you focus on, like Instagram or social media?
Instagram, LinkedIn,
And what is it that he does?
stocks and crypto.
Stocks and crypto.
He just has stocks and stocks and crypto. We were gonna move into a house, so have an apartment, and then we were like,
Wait, this isn't 1080, right? Okay.
we just moved here for a year. And then once we got here, we were like, no, this is dope.
Yeah.
So we have the dog picked out. It's a golden retriever. We're gonna name Mello. So we're gonna get a house. So we can have a backyard. Because I have 2 dogs, and then we're gonna have 3. So we're planning on staying here for a while. Sorry.
Once again, you don't have to apologize.
The detectives can tell Courtney is in a vulnerable state,
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, they're there to solve a crime. Courtney's being investigated for stabbing Toby, and the only defense she's given so far is that there was an argument and things got out of hand. If Courtney did in fact do what she's being accused of, being forced to think about her past and future with Toby would really be messing with her emotions, causing her to become more vulnerable and hopefully lead to an easy confession.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Let's start from the
Yeah,
start.
'cause she's realizing, like, she's thinking about what she's done, and she's realizing, oh shit, I'm not gonna be able to get the future that I want anymore. Because, I mean, yeah.
You guys were supposed to take out your dogs to the park, right? And then what happened after that?
Like I said, a little bit before. I was doing laundry and tried to call my mom. She didn't answer the first time. And then he left. I guess he went to go bike over there. That's just what he said. I don't know if he walked or biked, but he told me.
Dude, she, like, I don't know why she said, oh, I was gonna call my mom and she didn't answer. Like, that's such irrelevant information. Like, that's, I mean, I guess they need it, but they don't, that really doesn't do anything. Like, she just, I went to call my mom, she didn't answer, and then just skims over it and doesn't, that little segment doesn't connect with anything else. It's like, dude.
Bikers, please call my mom. She didn't answer the first time. And then he left. I guess he went to go bike over there.
Like, she just, and then she just skims over it. It's like, bruh, why do you even bring it up?
Bikers, please.
Like a bicycle?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he came back with a Subway sandwich, and I said something about, like, oh, are you gonna, like, reshare your location with me, like, did you and share it? And he said, yeah, I shared it. And I was like, oh, when did you do that? And he goes, the other day, like, when you were done with me. And I was like, okay, well, fair enough. Like, reshare it. And then he told, I mean, it kind of, like, turned into, like, a little, like, argument or something. And then he told me to reshare mine, and I was like, okay, yeah, I will. And then I didn't do it immediately. He asked me about it again. And I don't know what I was thinking, but it just said something about, well, what if I'm somewhere you don't want me to be? Which I wouldn't have been. I love him. But
I don't like how you just said that.
Maybe you don't want to know where I am. I guess maybe it'll just, like, hurt him because he was pressing me. And he ended up pinning me against the wall. I mean, I said, like, choking me on the floor. It's just, like, they were looking at my neck, and I was like, I mean, I'm not saying, like, choking me, like, you know, whatever. But, I mean, he had my, like, neck. Like, and this happened twice before, where I couldn't breathe, and I was on the floor. Yeah. I could not breathe. And I don't think that he is trying to kill me, but I was scared. And all 3 times I have been scared. I'm on the floor. And you have me pinned. Get my mom on the phone.
Whew. These situations are... Alright, now here we go. Now she's bringing up her mom again. Alright, this is where bringing up her mom
trying to kill me
comes back.
But I was scared. And all 3 times I have been scared. I'm on the floor. And you have me pinned. Get my mom on the phone. So this happened, like, over by the door, and somehow moved, like, over in the living room. He was standing by the couch, facing toward the kitchen. I was in the kitchen. And then he just, like, I could see, like, all the whites in his eyes, and he was like...
Alright. Yeah, I don't like Alright, I'm gonna stop fucking pausing it and talking, but, like, the whole... I was standing in the kitchen, bruh, that is terrifying.
The couch,
I don't fuck with that at all.
facing toward the kitchen. I was in
that,
the kitchen. And then he just, like, I could see, like,
That's
all the whites in his eyes, and he was, like, coming at me. And so I grabbed one of these knives. My mom got me for Christmas. I grabbed one of them. And I was like, I swear to God. I swear to God. It was just like, I mean, I grab it and be like, don't come anywhere closer to me. Because, I mean, earlier, I was having 2 other times I couldn't breathe. I'm sorry. I couldn't breathe. And it's very scary. And I just think, like, just like this kind of thing where I was saying, like, do you know if he's okay? If he, like, if he's choking me and he's angry enough, he might, like, I mean, this is different, I think. But if he's, like, choking me or, like, pinning me or something and I can't breathe.
Oh my God, this situation.
So I grab a knife and I said, don't come anywhere closer to me. I had absolutely no intention of using it. I'm on the phone with my mom, and he's coming at me like he's gonna grab either the phone or, like, the knife or something. And so I was just like, I was like, don't come any closer. It's coming at me, and I threw it. And I meant for it to go.
How far away was he?
Well, I was by my fridge, and he was, like, by the edge of
Threw it at him, homie? Oh my.
Like,
comparing to what
10 feet. I'm trying to think in my head.
To recap, Courtney says that an argument started when the pair had both stopped sharing their phone locations that resulted
Yeah.
in him pinning her against the floor and her retaliating by throwing a kitchen knife across the room, piercing him in the chest. Courtney also clearly states that her attack was in self-defense and specifically involved her throwing a knife 10 feet across the apartment that landed perfectly in his chest, causing him to bleed out and fear for his life.
So then, you were by the fridge and he was by the couch?
Yes, I was in front of the fridge. He was by the couch.
And then
behind my island.
And then what kind of movements did he make at the moment? He was gonna walk
running
up?
at me.
Running? Okay.
Well, charging, aggressively walking, something.
What was he doing? Like, was he doing
Like how she says 3 different things there.
something with his hands, or?
I'm sorry, I just don't believe her, like, at all. I just don't believe her. I don't know why. I just don't.
When he had his hands up, I couldn't tell you exactly.
Was he yelling at?
I do believe the fact that maybe there was abuse back and forth between both of them. You know what I'm saying? But I don't believe that she threw the knife. I don't believe, you know what I'm saying? There's like a couple different things that like, she's obviously lying about a couple
Was
things.
that at the
right?
moment that he was charging you, or earlier in one of the arguments?
It was before he choked me. Yes, it was before he choked me.
I do believe he probably did choke her though, honestly.
Okay.
That may be.
Whatever. But I swear to God, I was scared. I mean, after like what I was scared, and I was on the phone with my mom, and it was still happening.
Yeah.
I was scared.
So you told me that he had you against the wall at one point, right? With his hands over your neck.
Don't grab a knife.
And
just get out of the situation.
How did you end up from the wall to the?
If you're like actually scared, exit the situation, man. Stop going back. Stop putting yourself in that fucking predicament to begin with. Like,
Let me go, and then I started swinging on him because I had been against the wall.
Okay.
I started trying to hit him.
Yeah.
And then he put me on the ground.
He dropped you to the ground.
When I'm trying to remember like a whole situation of where I was very upset about something,
Yeah.
which I've learned this in therapy and whatever, it's like write down like all the details so you don't forget. Just like write it all out clearly so that it makes sense to you and makes sense to somebody else. But I haven't had a chance to have a pen and paper or my phone to like write down exactly what happened. And I haven't really even like fully thought about it.
Yeah.
So honestly, my answer is I don't remember.
That's fine.
that was, I don't even know what that was. What the fuck did I just... Alright, let's just...
Okay.
continue.
You guys have a history of violence?
Yeah,
You say you've been together how long, sir?
almost 2 years.
Almost 2
Year
years.
and a half to 2 years.
So how many incidents you think you've had?
I don't know. But we shouldn't be together.
Have you made a report before?
No.
You've never made a report?
Oh, I did in Dallas actually about a year ago, and he was detained.
And what happened there?
He had pushed me in the lobby, but it wasn't like a big deal, and they made it a huge deal.
The couple had also been involved in another incident in Las Vegas less than a year earlier. Police were called to their apartment after a loud argument was heard, as well as glasses smashing on the floor and walls. The apartment was trashed when police arrived, and Courtney's story was all over the place.
Why did you call for help?
Because we were getting really loud. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna like do damage to the room or something. Not damage to each other. Like I really want to like.
But why would you
highlight
think
that.
Why would you think that you were gonna do damage to the room?
I like throwing something or like.
Did you throw something?
Did I?
Yeah.
No.
Did anybody throw anything?
No.
So why would you think that
Yes.
there's damage to the
whole
room
lot
to
of
be
cap.
made?
Because I've done that before in our house, and I.
What have you done?
Thrown a glass and a plate.
Did you throw a glass or a plate to the
Dude.
team today?
No.
Okay. So if
No,
I
this was before.
okay, so when I go to the room and I see a broken glass on the floor, where did the glass come from?
I don't know. I literally couldn't even remember how the fight started.
Okay, well,
Was there?
yeah.
Maybe I did. Well, I'm guessing that
Maybe I did.
but
Dude,
that
Jesus
sounds like
Christ.
me, so.
Courtney was brought to jail and held for 12 hours overnight, but Toby refused to press charges and advocated heavily for release. This may seem like nothing, but police did conclude that Courtney had attacked him that night by throwing a glass at his head. If nothing else, it proves that Courtney was capable of attacking Toby unprovoked and opens up an entirely new avenue for this investigation. However, it also turns out that police had been in contact with the couple more recently. In fact, they'd actually been called by security to their apartment.
They're definitely just a couple that should not be together, right? There's just certain people that when they get together, they just clash. And, I think, I don't really know, because I've never, like, been in that situation, but I think that it's, like, both parties. You know what I'm saying? It has to be both parties, right? Because if it's only one party, like, if only one, by party, I mean person, right? Each person's their own party, right? If it's only one person, then the other person can just, like, leave the scenario. You know what I'm saying? Or exit the scenario and get the fuck out of there. You know what I'm saying?
The day before the
Or
attack.
at least when the scenario's done, not go back to that position to get put in that scenario again. You know what I mean?
But the cops
Actually
have been
end
up
things.
there one other time yesterday for absolutely no reason. Absolutely none. They harassed not the police, but security guards from the front office, like young security guards.
Okay.
Came up for no reason. Bothered him, bothered me.
The cops were called, however, and captured an entire exchange on body cams, providing a stark contrast to the story that Courtney gave here.
You didn't call.
I didn't. Nobody.
I called. You called.
What?
Okay.
What's going on?
Okay. Hold on, man. Let him talk.
Okay.
Let him talk.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The front desk personnel, she informed us that Miss Courtney, her boyfriend, was trying to get into the elevator. And she had her hand out like this. And she was like, oh no, don't come inside the elevator.
Okay.
So we asked her, I said, do you want him to leave the property? She said no, she don't want him to.
I did not say that. I said yes.
Hold on.
Courtney, what's going on? What do you need? What?
Yeah.
My boyfriend.
All right. So what do you want to say?
I want a restraining order against Christian Abumselli.
We don't issue those.
Because
Those
no,
are
I'm serious.
to courts.
Can I do that?
You
Where
have to
can
go
I?
to court. You have to go to
Okay, but
downtown
how
or
can
get
I
a
make
petition.
myself first?
Courtney is obviously extremely panicked in this footage and seems less concerned about any possible that she may have been sustaining and more worried about getting a restraining order before Toby can. It's also important to note that the building's security noticed her pushing Toby out of the elevator and screaming at him and mentioned absolutely no aggression coming from him. As the evidence mounts up, it's starting to get increasingly more likely that Courtney's whole
Jesus
self-defense
Christ, man.
story might be straying slightly away from the truth. But as is almost always the case in situations like these, everything is still hearsay, and officially debunking her claims is going to be a challenge for the detectives. But after leaving her alone for almost an hour and letting her change clothes, they return to the interrogation room with some more news
What the fuck was that?
for her.
So you're living in a nightmare right now,
Yes.
you know?
I will feel so much better once they just say he's stable.
Yeah.
And I've been asking. I've been
and
asking so much.
that's what we're waiting for. Okay.
I mean, I feel like at the end. I mean, if he's not, that's a lot worse for me.
So they've asked for an update, and I asked them for an update as well, so they're checking to see what's going on. Because they're
I
obviously
don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I will do with myself if he's not okay.
Well, I know what you will do. You will go to jail, right? Obviously.
no matter
I mean,
what,
I clearly can't be together.
no matter what happens,
But
no matter where this falls, right? It's out of our control.
So we have to inform you that Christian did not make it. Okay. Unfortunately, the doctors did what they could, and
Christian is dead.
Yes.
Oh my God. This is not real, right? Okay. No, this is Christian
Jesus
died.
Christ, man.
Can I please have a hug? Am I allowed to do that in here?
Dude, what?
Relax. It's gonna be fine.
No.
Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Take deep breaths.
I need to hug my mom. I cannot be left alone in like a room by myself
You won't be.
after this. No, that's not true. That's not real, right?
It is real.
Christian did.
What
Christian
do you
is
mean
dead.
that's not real?
They're not gonna lie.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously denial, right? But holy fuck.
The last thing he ate was Subway. What I was saying to that other room, I said, God forbid, when like from far away, what if it had accidentally hit a little bit lower and he died?
So we can't change what's occurred and get him before. So just step by step. So you'll get through this.
Well, there was like, to me, the response I kind of got from that from her hearing that was more panic and not so much sorrow, right? I kind of got like, she was like real panic and real jittery and everything about like, oh my god, I'm going to jail forever, rather than sorrow of like, oh my god, I just took another person's fucking life. You know what I mean? At least that's just kind of what I got from it. Maybe this guy will talk about
It's
it.
easy to tell by the detectives' reactions that they're fairly convinced what happened was indeed self-defense. In fact, one of them was even talking earlier about how he's sure she'd be allowed home that night and that everything was going to be fine. So it obviously wasn't hard for her lawyer to convince them officially that she wasn't guilty and she was let off without any charges. But remember...
Yo, what? Wait. No. Say that again.
Talking earlier about how he's sure she'd be allowed home that night and that everything was going to be fine. So it obviously wasn't hard for her lawyer to convince them officially that she wasn't guilty and she was let off without any charges. But remember, the detectives weren't aware of any of the evidence mentioned so far. All they know is what Courtney told them. So as time went on, evidence started to mount up, and the Abumseli's case was starting to become stronger and stronger. The body cam videos started to become publicly available, and the true nature of her previous arrests came to light. There were also unflattering videos such as this one showing her drunk in public just days after her release.
Yeah, and they're seeking justice.
sir?
Yeah,
What?
let's all videotape her. Right now, you should go. Yeah, you should go. Because you just know her boyfriend. Yeah, you did. Yeah, and yeah, okay, cool.
Dude,
Sure, people make
holy
mistakes
shit,
and drink
bro.
too much. But when you're seen acting like this in public just days after bawling your eyes out in an interrogation room,
It seemed like she was crying to me,
you
dog.
don't exactly get painted in the best light. Just days later, footage secretly recorded by Toby was found on his phone displaying Courtney violently screaming at him, using aggressive language, hitting him across the face, and using racial slurs.
Jesus.
Courtney, I was on a bike ride and she passed me and I said hi. You and Courtney are having a live chat. My bad, I forgot to tell you that. That doesn't make you to act and call me a...
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yes, thank you. Coming from Courtney, thank you.
I want you to get away from me!
So due to this and many other accounts stating that Courtney was
Jesus
well
fucking
and truly the
Christ.
one, she was officially taken to court by Toby's family.
Okay.
This is where the final nail in the coffin was delivered by a medical examiner who'd observed Toby's body and come to a conclusion.
Now, based on the information you received that the defendant was alleged to have thrown this knife,
Yeah, there's no way, right? Yeah, I was thinking about that too, but I didn't really want to say it. She's not a fucking knife thrower, bruh, alright? Now, I may be wrong here, right? Because I have no fucking knowledge. My knowledge is absolutely zero, right? But it would seem to me like it would be hard to throw the knife and get it to spin perfectly, especially the big one, right? And get it to spin perfectly and go and then hit the target perfectly. That would take a little bit of skill, right? Like, there's no way that she threw the knife. Is my ultimate thing.
You support that?
If the person who supposedly did this is an expert knife thrower, and the
Thank you.
knife is the type of knife that you can
Thank
throw,
you. Okay.
I guess
I
that
was
could have
right.
happened.
Did you receive any information that the
So
defendant...
I was fucking right. All right. Like 10 minutes in or whatever the fuck, when she said she threw the knife, I was like, I don't really. We'll let it slide, I guess, but I don't think that's possible. I didn't want to fucking
Was a
say
knife
that,
thrower.
but
No.
So based on that fact that you did not receive that information, would it support that?
No.
And what would you expect to see a knife do if someone just flung it at somebody?
It would just hit the body and bounce off.
Now, as a result of this case, did you come to a cause, or did you make a determination as to the cause and manner of death?
Yes.
Could you please explain those to the court?
The cause of death was stab wound of right subclavian artery. The manner of death was homicide.
As of April 2023, Courtney is currently awaiting what's become one of the most anticipated trials in modern history. She faces life in prison on account of second-degree murder, with all of the evidence stacked against her.
wait. All right. I guess I don't understand the second degree. All right. Is first degree like you have it planned out, and then second degree is like, is that the distinction? I don't really know. But second degree, okay.
It's not looking good for her. Murder
not
with
exactly.
all of the evidence stacked against her. It's not looking good for her as we prepare to see if she'll be spending the rest of her life behind bars.
Okay. Well, holy fucking shit. That was another absolutely insane video. Goddamn. Yeah, she gets life, right? Hopefully, that's my final verdict is life. Yeah. All right. Hey, yo, make sure to go subscribe to Dr. Insanity for this fucking banger, man. Goddamn.